Wonderful. So let's start. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the No Wallet Demo 17 already. So we have pretty a lot of stuff to discuss today. We're going to start from the review of recent releases, which are TUR staking and the teleports, which is like a special case of cross-chain transfers. Then we're going to have a sneak peek for the upcoming improvements. And as usual, we're going to review the roadmap in that. So let's start. We decided to refine this slide for a little, so you can now scan the QR code to get access to all our community links, like a website, the Twitter, the YouTube, all of that, as well as to the links to download the apps themselves. So while we wait for like a couple of more seconds for others to join, feel free to scan the QR code, check the link tree, and yeah, check our social medias, or just use this link, which is shown below. But yeah, I think we can proceed further. And let's start from the review of our 3.1 release, which was dedicated for the cross-chain transfers and teleports. So teleports are special case for the cross-chain transfers, which are taking place for the state mine and state mint networks. So that allowed our No Wallet to provide opportunity for the users to do the cross-chain transfers with these networks. So you can see that now our users are able to transfer the Kusama tokens, the DOT tokens between the relay chain and the common assets parachain, which are state mine and state mint. And also we did open the channel for the cross-chain transfers between the state mine and Moonriver, for example. Now we have pretty much covered most of the cases of all potential ways for the cross-chain transfers. And our team is now working on increasing the amount of this channel supported in No Wallet. But starting from 3.1, there will be no need to update the app. The new cross-chain transfers will just appear just like we do the networks, the apps, the staking options even. So yeah, that will come automatically to the No Wallet, which is good. So yes, 3.1 I think was released something like almost 2 weeks ago. So feel free to update the app. Next one is TUR staking, which is 3.2 release. And the TUR staking is live on No Wallet now. So you can enjoy the super easy and powerful on-chain staking. And our users will notice that that is pretty much similar with the Moonbeam and Moonriver staking. And the reasoning behind that is because the Turing team reused the parachain staking module, which was developed by Moonbeam Foundation. And ideally, what we would like to see on like our ecosystem landscape is that the parachains will use the same solution. In that case, we have the less room for errors from the network perspective. And also, it's much easier for client apps like a Nova to add more tokens to be staked in their features, basically, right? So everything what our users were able to experience with the Moonbeam staking, like start staking, see the staking analytics, and so on, the same applies for the TUR staking. So exactly the same feature, exactly the same UX. We just needed to tune a little the Nova to basically work with the Turing network for the staking. So that's a great news. And let's have a brief preview of how this features looks like in Nova before we jump to the roadmap. So now if I go to Kusama, for example, and if I tap the send, I have the options to select from what network to what network I can send the Kusama. And by default, it's just the transfer inside of same network, which is Kusama. But now I have option to select from other networks. So I can select the state mine here. I can select myself, and that will allow me to auto paste my state mine address from my wallet, basically. So I don't need to copy and paste it. Or if I would like to transfer Kusama from Kusama network to, I don't know, another person's account on the state mine network, I can just paste the address using the paste button, right? But we will go ahead and just transfer to my own account. We will transfer something like 1.5 Kusama tokens. We see the preview for the operation. we see all the network information about like the fees. So the fees on, for paying the network, the fees to be paid on Kusama network, the fees to be paid for the cross-chain transfers, and to which network the transfer will be applied. So as soon as I tap the confirm, the transfer will be sent to the StateMine network to mine account. So you just saw that the amount on the Kusama's tokens on Kusama network decreased. So ideally, I should have the more Kusama tokens for the StateMine. So eventually that number should go up. Here it goes. And now I have 2.4 something Kusamas on the StateMine. So all in all, we did the demo of the cross-chain transfers before on our previous demo in details, but now with the 3.1 update, you are allowed to operate with the teleports, which are the special case for the cross-chain transfers when we're talking about StateMine and StateMint networks. Now let's check the Turing, the staking of the TUR token on a Turing network. So we can see that pretty much the list of tokens which are available to be staked in Nova grown up by a lot. So let's find the Turing here. And that would be the case for an account which already is staking the Turing tokens, right? So we can see the your rewards. We can see the staking information of the network. So 300 something people are already staking TUR tokens. Unstaking period is the following. So the UX is pretty much the same, which we saw in the other staking options, right? And since we're talking about the parchain staking, we're talking about collators. So the UX and UI is shaped in the way like that. Worth to mention that just because we have so little amount of the people staking on the Turing, the APR is pretty much high right now. So if you will go to the collator screen, we will see that the APR on this network is pretty much high just because the amount of tokens is not yet there. So it's too few people are staking. So yeah, enjoy this moment. So that's about the Turing staking, right? Everything is available with 3.2 update, and feel free to download the app and enjoy the Turing staking. So let's go back to our slides. Also, feel free to post any questions regarding the features and we will address them. All right, so let me see the roadmap and upcoming features, right? So we would like to focus on upcoming improvements, right? But before that, we will check our roadmap. So upcoming improvements is something what we would like to work with the community. So we listen carefully for our community for any feature requests and suggestions to how we can make a Nova even better, right? Then we fetch all these feature requests and include to our Kusama treasure proposal. So you can see that here on our roadmap, we have something like a community requested features. But just because all these major features like cross-chain transfers, watch mode, cold wallets, they're pretty much big one in terms of like the complexity, right? So it takes like several weeks to develop them, right? But we decided to kind of mix the features. So let's say after the cross-chain transfers, we take something from community request features, deliver that, and then we switch to the next big one feature, which is in this case like a watch mode, right? So in this case, let us preview the upcoming features which were requested by the community members. So you can expect pretty much soon following features to be delivered. It's 4 of them, like you can see on the slides. But basically, we decided to improve the multiple aspects in the app. And we were focusing on the most demanded features based on our community channels. So that being said, RMRK version 2 NFTs are going to be supported pretty much soon. We expect this to be delivered the next week. So expect it to be delivered by the end of next week, let's say, right? Search by network or token on the asset step, because we have so many tokens, we have so many networks available on our main screen. So it makes harder to reach the desired one. So now it will be solved by introducing the search feature on the main screen. And of course, the Crowdloan returns countdown and also contribution fiat value is something what our community members were demanding for quite a while now, right? So you would be able to see when exactly your tokens can be returned by the parachain team. So you will be able to understand when your contribution will be back. And also minor thing, but it also related to the amount of networks in Nova, which we support increasing, is that we decided to introduce some default sorting on assets and wallet and Crowdloans and staking screens, but I will explain later once I will demo it. So let me go back to the Android presentation here. And let's start from, let's start probably from the search feature, right? So we can see that that account has lots of tokens available to be managed. And for example, even if we will turn on the hide assets with 0 balances, it takes time to scroll for example, for the TUR token, right? To be able to send it. But now you can just go here, tap TUR, and here you go, right? So it's easy as that. Also, it was taking into consideration the differences between the networks, the tokens. So for example, whenever you type dot, you would be able to see all dot derivatives. So the classic dot tokens, but also the L dot, LC dot, the XC dot on the Moonbeam, and all other variations, right? So you can not only search by the token, but you can also enter the network name. So let's enter the Polkadot, right? Or maybe something like Zgeist, right? Because it's in the end of the list. Now you can access it much easier, or just enter the ZTG with this token name, right? So it's pretty much powerful, fast, and now it's much easier to access any tokens that you would like to manage, basically, right? So yeah, that's amazing. Let's also preview the Crowdloan returns, right? So on the Crowdloans page, we have your contributions. Whenever you go there, you can see all your contributions done and which are basically awaiting to be returned because you provided support to a certain project, right? And now you can see that for each contribution, you have this information when exactly it would be available for the project to return your contribution back. And usually it happens at the same day. So let's say for the Genscher, it will happen in 107 days, 10 hours plus like something, because it takes time for the project team actually to push the button to return the tokens. And as a nice bonus, we also delivered the fiat amount here just for you to understand, maybe in another way, the value of the contribution. So that's about the contributions. Now, the RMRK version 2 NFTs are pretty straightforward. So now you would be able to see not only RMRK version 1 NFTs, not only the NFTs which are located on the StateMine network, but also RMRK version 2, which you can also see on the Singular DApp, right? So now you can see all your NFTs if you store them on the using RMRK version 2. So that's also a good addition which was asked. And the last one here is a default sorting on the assets, wallet, Crowdloans, and staking. And that can be a bit tricky one. So the situation that we saw for the new users, so for example, you just created the wallet in Nova, and you might occur the situation that previously we were sorting it by the alphabet, right? So that would be the situation for people to see like how the networks align here. And what users were doing, they just saw the dot, thinking that this is a dot on the Polkadot network, right? They were going here, receive, and they were trying to deposit funds, let's say from the exchanges, or let's say from another Polkadot wallet. They were not paying attention that it says Akala or something. They were just like manually clicking on this in order to receive the Polkadot tokens. So that was kind of UX, I would say, trap, right? And we decided to solve it in the way that by default, now we will put on top the Polkadot and Kusama as the like a main networks, or let's say the most popular networks in the ecosystem, right? And then we have the alphabet order for all the rest of the networks. And also, if there are any test nets, for example, we have a Westnet network here, right, in the production app, just for you to be able to play with the testnet tokens, use Nova and see how the features are working. That would be put in the end of the list, just for you to not mess with the order, because there are some networks like Unique or Zgeist which coming, yeah, also in the end. So yeah, that 4 feature improvements that you can expect us to deliver the next week, right? And yeah, let us know how we can improve the app further, because I can remind you that we have the Kenny.io resource available for you to submit any feature requests, right? You can find it by scanning this QR code or by going by the link tree, and there is a submit your feature request, or by just going to our website, to the roadmap section, and there is a big blue button to submit the feature request as well. All right, so let's go back to the slides. And slideshow. All right, so what's next? Our Moonbeam features were completed recently, so that concludes the Moonbeam Moonriver staking, EVM DApp support, and also the cross-chain transfers between the Moonbeam and Moonriver networks and the parachains around them, right? So now we will talk with the team like for the next steps, because we have plenty much of ideas what else we can put to the Nova in order to increase the user experience for the Moonbeam, Moonriver, and other EVM networks. But all in all, our next priority is execution of second Kusama treasury proposal. And the next item on our list is watch-only wallets. That will allow our users to just enter the address of any existing account in the ecosystem, right? And you would be able to experience all the features of Nova in read-only format. So you wouldn't be able to do the transactions, but you would be able to preview first the app features, and second, your account if you don't want to inject your key pair to Nova wallet, but you just want to, let's say, utilize the powerful user interface that we have, right? And after watch-only wallets, we expect to start the Party Signer integration and Ledger Nano X integration, which are considered to be two of the most popular hardware wallets. So that would be also next step to increase kind of security aspect of Nova wallets. So now you wouldn't be needed to just inject your key pair to the Nova wallet, but you could use your hardware wallet like Party Signer, for example, in order to do the transaction signing. And of course, we will keep this process with community requested features. So once we deliver the big one, we will just take a break for a couple of days and develop some features which were requested by the community. And yeah, also we are in the process of applying to multiple grants and working with the different networks and projects in the ecosystem, right? So expect us to announce more collaborations and the partnerships. And that would be it from our side. So let me see any chat. Yeah, no break for us. That's true. But yeah, that's a good thing for us to kind of relax from working on certain feature for a relatively long time period, like 2-3 weeks, right? And just have our mind to be switched on any fresh tasks, let's say. And in most of the times, these tasks are relatively small, but they provide a big value, right? Let's say the search feature on AssetStab, that should increase UX dramatically right now, because we are supporting something like 60 networks right now in Nova, and sometimes it's really frustrating to scroll to the down, and now you can quickly access them. All right, let me just check the chat on Momentum side of things to see are there any questions there. Right, so it's just a good feedback. All right, in this case, that would be it from our side. Thank you so much that you participated No Wallet 17's demo, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Cheers, bye.